All right, what's up, y'all? I'm back with another video. Um, this is pretty much about my belief in God. If you don't know, I'm a young transgender man, and I'm basically gonna tell y'all why I believe in God as a transgender man. And when I say God, I'm not talking about that God they be talking about in the Bible, but I'm just talking about a higher power. God, all God is to me is a higher power. That's it. It's a higher power. But what I mean by a higher power is this power is positive energy. This power is love. This power is peace. This power is gentle. Cuz power is gentle. Power isn't tough. Power is gentle. Real power is gentle. Okay? Um, but I'm gonna tell y'all my perception on God. So I come from a Christian family. Um, they went to church and stuff, and we went to church. But around the age of 10, we stopped going to church because my dad just stopped going to church. I don't remember why. My brother tried to tell me why. I don't really remember. I forgot what he said, like why we stopped going to church. But my dad never stopped praying. Is my phone cracked? What the fuck? Oh, my bad, y'all. Oh, I really got to put a case on my phone. Let me stop fucking playing. But why I believe in God? Oh, wait, what was I saying? I was talking about the church and my dad and shit. Damn, that memory. I'm gonna come back to it. But I know I was saying that God is loving and power and very powerful, but that power is gentle. See, power is gentle. Power isn't tough. It isn't like overbearing. But nah, I come from a family that basically went to church or whatever until I was about the age of 10, and we stopped going to church. But my dad has always been a prayer. My family, we went to church, but more than anything, my dad was big on the power of prayer. And the way my dad would pray is basically he would just pray for protection over his whole family and pray that we could be united and brought back together safely, from going to work, going to school. He'd pray for protection over his family. He'd also pray for, like, I'm saying my coworkers, because we still be praying to this day, but he would pray for, like, the people we go to school with, the people we go to work with, the people we step outside and go interact with. He pray for all of us. So at a very young age, I learned how to pray, and I learned how to talk to this power up in the sky. And that's all I knew. But God, my dad, that's one thing I do admire about my parents, though. They taught me that your relationship with God is personal. Your relationship with God is personal. So I would talk to God, and I would pray to God. And when I was younger, it first started off as on my lip. It first started off as like praying for protection over my family. Same thing I heard my dad pray for, because that's all I knew was like family and friends. So I would pray for that, and I still do. But once I started to get a little older, I had an incident when I was like 9, little PTSD incident. At the age of 9, I got diagnosed with anxiety and mild depression at 9. Went to the doctor, got diagnosed with it. No self-diagnosis. Because never mind. I'm not even going to get on what I think about people who self-diagnose. But at that age, I was praying a lot then too. I would cry and I would pray a lot. Then I can't really remember what I was praying for then, but I know around 13, 14, when I started to get into middle school, I started to, because when I was about 12, I started dating girls. 12, 13, I started dating girls, right? I started dating girls. I still prayed though, like I still prayed. But I still felt like I was lost in who I was, because I didn't connect with being like, I didn't really like labels. I didn't really like labels, and I couldn't really connect with like the stud labels and all this being quote unquote gay. I ain't really like none of that shit. But I know I liked the girls, you know what I'm saying? But I couldn't connect with none of that, like none of the fucking labels. I did not like being categorized and grouped out, and I didn't like none of that shit. So I always prayed. I specifically, this is what I was saying in my prayer. I would pray to God. I would say, God, just put me on a path that's meant for me. You know what I'm saying? That's all I would pray for. I just put me on a path that's meant for me. And a couple more years later, I'm still praying. I pray every night before I go to bed and sometimes throughout the day. But around 15, 16, that's when I came, well, is it 15? 14, 15. I came across what being transgender is. I immediately identified with it. I was able to, it was interesting to me, you know, I was able to watch it and I was like, hell yeah, that, like instantly in the back of my head, I'm like, bro, that's me. Like this dude is me. Like, not this dude is me, but I'm transgender. That's when I realized at about 14, 15, one of them ages. I know I was like between 8th and 9th grade, bro. 8th and 9th grade, like, cause I remember, like, I'm trying to remember like the house that I was at, because when I was living in this certain house, like, I used to watch his videos. Yeah, this was between 8th grade going into 9th. So I was like between 14, 15 at this time. Cause I remember I came out to somebody. I came out and told a girl that I was dating when I was 15. I told her that, like, I think I'm transgender. Or I think that I would transition when I turned 18, because I knew my parents and my family wasn't gonna go for that shit. And I was not about to put myself out there to get bullied. But yeah. Yeah, so, but going back to me praying. So I always prayed, and I talked to God about that too. I was never afraid to talk to God because I know that I'm a child of God, you know. So when I came across that, I talked to God about that shit too. I just continued to say the same thing. No, I said, God, if that path is, you know, meant for me, then put me on that path. You know, put me on a path, and then find me a lifestyle that's meant for me. And when I came across that instantly popped up, and I was like, yeah, that's me, and I can transition. And I realized that another thing, I feel like God told me this. Like I said, I talk to God. I don't read no Bible to go find out who God is, what God is. That's another thing. Like, I don't understand why they tell you to read the Bible when that's just other people's perception of God. That's all the Bible is. The Bible is just a whole bunch of stories about other people's perception of God and their, like, what God told them. Just like I'm telling y'all my experience with God and my experience with talking to God. And what I've learned, that's just a whole bunch, that's just other people's perspective on who God is in their eyes, what they perceive. You know what I'm saying? God didn't write that Bible himself, so God isn't even a human. God is energy. That's it. But so I still prayed, and I still prayed a lot, and then I realized that my body, this physical experience, it doesn't really matter. This body will decay in the ground. Maggots gonna be eating me when I die. My face, the jaw, all my whole body will decay. So I'm gonna be getting eat up by maggots and spiders. It's gonna be a skeleton. I'm gonna be in the ground decaying. What's gonna go meet God is my spirit. My spirit gonna go meet God. So God told me to keep my spirit pure. Release yourself from lustfulness. Release yourself from greed. Forgive others. Those are the things that I got from God. Forgive. Release yourself from lustfulness. Don't be greedy. Don't be jealous. Don't be hateful. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. Be compassionate. Don't judge. Try to get closer to God. When you get closer with God, all you're doing is getting closer with yourself, because God is already within you. We come from the Creator, right? God is already within us. It's just that positive energy, that life force. It's that positive energy that's already within us, but we have to embrace that positivity that's within us in order for us to connect to God. And how we do that? Well, we got to connect to the earth. We got to connect to the mother, the earth, this planet. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my experience of God, and like why I believe in a higher power / God, whatever. But that's just my belief in God and like what I think about God. And honestly, I think God loves us all and accepts us all, and yeah.